Well, good morning. Good morning. We're going on a walk and not run, just gonna go move around and did some crunches this morning. Haven't really been working out too much. Been kind of busy driving for Lyft, which has been pretty decent income. We'll assess the wear and tear in the vehicle over time, but um, so far I don't think it's too aggressive. It has been a lot of driving to say the least, but honestly, I really like driving. So I'm not like freaking out about it at the end of the day. But I did want to talk about something really important. So we had a blog post that I did, and it has to do with the big beautiful bill that passed recently. Congratulations, everyone. But yeah, let's talk about this. We're going to do the blog post, and then we're going to talk about where it's going to go from here, and kind of just digress on some of the things in this. And I'm going to walk us through wine country. I thought that would be a nice little walk, a little bit different. So yeah, hopefully this isn't too long of a video, but if it is, maybe you just catch some shorts of it. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And we're trying to get this channel up and running, and I know it's been a little crazy, so I appreciate some of you early subscribers. And if you're anyone still in the industry, be sure to follow me here. So that way we can keep working together on more projects. So here's the blog, which I'll include a link down in the description below. It's on my website, reinnovations.org. And because that's what we do. We do renewable innovations. It's not just about solar technology, it's about a lot of other stuff. But yeah. So why I support the end of the 30% federal investment tax credit and what happens now. Good morning. Have a good day. The big beautiful bill. What just happened? Well, the big beautiful bill just passed, and it brings massive changes to the solar industry. Most notably, it signals the end of the 30% federal investment tax credit, or the ITC, for homeowners who purchase their systems outright. While PPAs and leases will see the tax credit taper off gradually, and we'll talk more on that, direct ownership options are losing the incentive completely by the end of the year. But for me, it isn't bad news. And for you, it isn't either. In fact, I think it's one of the best things that could actually happen to this industry. The solar tax credit was designed to encourage adoption and innovation, but instead it became something else entirely over time. It enabled an industry filled with bad actors, manipulative sales practices, fraudulent installations, and broken promises. Instead of building a clean energy future, it gave rise to an ecosystem of deceit and disillusionment. I've seen it, I've lived it, and it's time we talk about it. The dark side of the clean industry. Let me be real with you. Solar energy is an amazing technology. There's no doubt about it. When it's done right, it offers independence, savings, and sustainability. But the industry became, especially under the blanket of the 30% in federal investment tax credit, was anything but clean. The lies were everywhere. Customers were told their bills would disappear, that their systems would be battery ready, that the solar would pay for itself, that they owned it, that it would add tens of thousands in values to their home. Except in many cases, it didn't do many of these things. I've spoken to countless homeowners who ended up worse off than before. They were locked into deceptive leases. They were misled on production. They never received approval for interconnection. Guys, a little aggressive there. They never received approval for interconnection. Some systems weren't even permitted. Some were never even turned on. And it wasn't just customers. Some of the best people I've ever worked with in my life were also burned by this industry. Electricians, designers, salespeople, consultants, good, honest, hardworking people who put in the hours and followed the rules, who believed in solar, who treated customers with respect, who were left unpaid, pushed out, manipulated, and replaced. I'm one of them. I've been on the receiving end of broken promises, unpaid invoices, and destroyed partnerships. I've had to pick up the pieces for homeowners after other companies ghosted them. I fought for families who were taken advantage of by shady financiers and faceless contractors. But I've also had the honor of working alongside some of these incredible individuals, people who, like me, still believe in clean energy, who stuck around, who adapted, I should say, and who survived. And that's why the shakeup is so necessary. Fraud and corruption in plain sight. If you think I'm exaggerating, let me be clear. There has been rampant fraud in the solar industry. Just look up what happened with the HERO program a couple years back, where the FBI raided multiple contractors and the HERO organization in general to shut it down because it was so much fraud. I've seen forged signatures on contracts and permit applications. I've seen homeowners sign up for systems they didn't understand, some of which were installed without their full knowledge of what they agreed to. I've seen companies intentionally mislabel equipment to pass inspections, lies on interconnection documents, and fudge numbers to qualify for incentives. Utility companies have had to tighten regulations to prevent the system's abuse, not because solar itself is bad, but because of how many unqualified, unscrupulous people were abusing this system. There have been bankruptcies that left thousands of customers stranded with no support, companies that took tax credits and ran, projects that went half installed, some subcontractors that never got paid. Every link in the chain was and has been impacted, from the installers to the homeowners to the businesses to the financier. Everyone has gotten hurt in this space. And all the while, the tax credit kept it popping up. It became a safety net for bad business, something to dangle in front of customers while hiding the truth. Now, the B2B backstabbing and the silent victims. One of the ugliest parts of the story is the business to business betrayal. People don't realize how many great subcontractors, electricians, engineers, and small companies got absolutely gutted by big solar boom. Here's how it went. You get hired to do work, you get the job done right, the company delays payments, changes terms, or ghosts you entirely. Or they reroute your customer to a different installer, or they change the finance partner last minute, cutting you out of the deal entirely. Some even stole entire sales teams, client lists, locking them out of their own pipeline. That's not an abuse of business, that's a scam wrapped in a contract. And the sad part, the ones doing it weren't always fly-by-night pop-ups. Some were big names, recognizable brands, ones people actually trusted. The tax credit made everything worse. The ITC was supposed to help the industry, and at one point, it really did. But eventually, it became a crutch for companies who couldn't survive without it. Instead of focusing on real value, durable installs, honest quotes, long-term support, the pitch became, you'll get 30% back from Uncle Sam, just sign on this dotted line. It enabled greed. It attracted opportunists. Ooh, that's a nice little Thunderbird. It covered up inefficiencies. Oh wait, hang on, I skipped a part. It bloated the space with people who had no business honestly being in it. The tax credit masked the true cost of bad installations. It covered up inefficiencies. It rewarded volume over quality. And in the process, it made solar look worse to the very people who were trying to help it or were interested in it. That's why I was in favor of removing it. Let the system correct itself. Now, here's what comes next: a cleaner industry. Without the tax credits, companies will need to actually compete on quality again. They'll have to prove value, not just promise what they verbalize. There is real, and this is where the real professionals actually will shine now that this tax credit is moving away. Those of us who diversified, who learned energy storage, who understand home automation, who took the time to master code, compliance, and customer service. Those of us who stayed when others jumped ship or closed one business just to start another one and continue the fraud. A lot of bad businesses will be folding. That's okay. Let them. And those ones are likely the ones complaining the most about the removal of this tax credit. The future of solar should be built by those who earn the right to stay. Now, here's my advice to you, to your homeowners, to your business, and how to move forward. If you're a homeowner, you might be wondering, what do I do now? First, do not panic. Solar still works. It still saves money. It still reduces your carbon footprint. But now, more than ever, it matters who you actually work with. You need transparency. You need performance modeling. You need a consultant or an installer who will show you the math, not just tell you what you want to hear. And if you're unsure about solar, but thinking about adding a battery, that might be a smarter step. Batteries don't just save power, they give you control. They future-proof your energy use, especially in states where net metering has been gutted, like here in California. If you're getting only a solar quote, you really should be reconsidering things and the company. Whatever you choose, make sure it's on your own terms, not on theirs. Morning. How we at Renewable Innovations help. Real consulting, real help. At Renewable Innovations, we don't play games. We don't push one brand. Though I do have a preference, we don't take commission from shady loans. We don't get kickbacks. We help homeowners and businesses make informed decisions based on data, based on codes, and based on real-world results. We work with certified, vetted partners. We walked you through proposals. We flag red flags before you sign anything. Seriously, I just had a client that's signing a contract with me. He didn't need an electrical panel upgrade, and everybody was giving him a panel upgrade, charging him, an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. He had 6 quotes. None of the sales reps, I'm going a little off topic on this, none of the sales reps obviously went and spoke to someone of higher level to say, does this really need an electrical upgrade? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is ridiculous. Goodness. And it's a very complicated thing. I'm probably going to do a video on it as it progresses, but to talk about it and why we didn't need to do the panel upgrade. Anyways, but I saved him money on that electrical panel upgrade. There was an adder because he does need some specialty work done, but it's still significantly less. Plus, I gave him a great price because we're not over here overcharging you, for charging you $10,000 in commissions. Fucking ridiculous. Like I said, we flag the red flags before you sign anything. So even if you don't want to get a quote from us, or I can't give you a quote, at least consult with us with the proposals you have so we can help you in that regards. You know, we have that ability to do that. We have the experience to do that. We've partnered with good, honest contractors. Morning. Like Blaylock Electric and Solar, Axia by Q-Cells. In fact, our instant estimate tool on our website that you can go use right now is actually based on Axia's pricing. And you can use that pricing for California, Texas, and Florida. Well, I know definitely California. I don't know if I really built out the Texas and Florida part yet, but at least in California, you can use it. And then we actually have a partner in Arizona, Icon Power. So if you're in these areas, I'm happy to work with you. Use our estimate tool to get a fast quote without the sales guy. Because let's face it, the high commission sales model is dying. I think it's dead, actually. Morning. And it should be. You deserve better than paying someone $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 in commission. You're not selling a home here. You're actually buying a product. You don't pay $5,000, $10,000 in commissions when you buy a car that's $50,000, $100,000. Are you freaking kidding me? Just to sign up for a project they barely understand. A lot of them, these salespeople act like they know what they're talking about. They don't know shit. Now, here's my final thought. Now is the time. The truth is, the 30% federal investment tax credit is going away. It is. This is your last chance to take advantage of it if you would benefit from it. Remember, this is a tax credit. It's not a rebate. It's one of the things that this industry has manipulated, that it's many sales reps say it's a guaranteed return. It's not. If you owe Uncle Sam and you have this tax credit, you don't owe him anymore. So, morning.
Good morning.
So it's just one of those things. You're going to want to talk to a tax professional in regards to how a tax credit would benefit you. Consider one for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Remember, in most cases, that tax credit is redeemable for up to 5 years. So if you can't claim it all the first year, or the second year, or the third year, you have 5 years to claim it if you would benefit from it. If you're someone who stands to benefit from it, do not wait. Do something. Reach out to us. Reach out to a local partner. But be prepared for that business to potentially be gone if you're not familiar with them. Because after this year, financing is going to look significantly different. If you can't pay cash, it's going to be an interesting thing. Cash flow will matter. The solar sales environment will change drastically. But the good news, this is a good thing. It really is. The honest, hardworking people will still be here. The solar boys of the industry, the solar time of the industry, the solar surge of the industry, these people are still going to be here to help you. And so will the companies that support them. The ones who know what they're doing, the ones who actually have helped people like myself. We are ready when you are. So go ahead, use the link down in the description below. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. You can read the whole blog on the website if you'd like to. And you can use our instant proposal tool to at least get a quote. It's free. You go in there, fill in some information, and bam, you get a quote emailed to you. Honestly, I don't think there's anything better in the industry that I've seen that lets you just do that. And trust me, I'm not going to call you and hassle you. If you don't like the price, you don't like the price, right? If you're interested in it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go, hey, this doesn't look too bad. Let's talk about it. And you're going to call me. That's how I set it up. Now, if you want a consultation, we can just jump into the consultation, right? But if you do that quote, which I would, it doesn't hurt. You should be getting multiple quotes. But yeah, that's kind of it at the end of the day for that blog post. Now, like I said, we have different partners and different things that we can offer you and help you with. And whatever it is, we've got you covered for sure. So just got to be prepared for that. Now I want to walk through wine country, so we're going to take this shitty little fucking road up here. Oh, look at these puppers. Morning.
Good morning.
if I'm not mistaken, this pops you out like way in the middle. Whew. But yeah, talk about a tipsy-turvy of an industry. You're not going to see a whole lot of companies. You're going to see a mad rush, so expect delays in some aspects. I don't know how much of a rush we're going to see for purchasing and financing, but if you don't have the cash and you want to own your system, you're going to be looking at loans, and the loans after this year are not going to be the same, that's for sure. So you know, you're better off just figuring it out. And you know, if you can do a yeah, fuck your sidewalk. I'm gonna walk past these signs. I don't give a shit. Trash and deliveries. Okay. Ooh, that's my bad. Okay. Well, we're gonna walk this way because I want to. I just don't understand like what they're doing. So they got a retaining wall being built right here. This road's poorly fucking maintained, like on many levels. This person's house, you know, they barely get to. They're doing all sorts of stuff. To me, this looks like it's going to be closed for like 3 months. Anyways. Now, what you may have not caught is that power purchase agreements and leases are still available. It's either the end of 2026 or the end of 2027. And I don't know if it tapers down next year and then tapers down again. I probably should know that, but I honestly don't care too much on it. I think most people, what you should be doing is doing like a HELOC, home equity line of credit, and just buying your solar system. That's really going to be the best way moving forward, or go to your local credit union and just get a standard loan. So what we're looking at for an industry now is just regular loans. They're not going to have the ability to have a reduced payment. So one of the things that this industry has been able to do really well and has had a unique style loan, a solar style loan is what it's been called. And basically, say the loan, say your system's $30,000, okay? And you're gonna get a tax credit, right? Possibly, that's $9,000. So that would be 30% of 30,000. So that means your net system cost is $21,000. Now look at this, they're building like some retaining wall or something under here. Dealing with some sewage, something, huh? But yeah, so you have this $9,000 that you could get back, or well, you wouldn't really could get back, but you have this tax credit to reduce your tax liability to Uncle Sam. So instead of paying the IRS $9,000, you would pay your loan $9,000. And what the lenders have done in the solar industry is, let's say that $30,000 was financed over 25 years, right? That's kind of that's a typical loan, 20, 25 years, regardless of the interest rate. Let's say it was $150 a month, right? And that's before you apply the tax credit. So if you applied the tax credit, maybe it's $100 a month, $121 a month, something along those lines. So what the lenders have done is you're financing 30,000, and then they go, okay, well, you're gonna have a tax credit, so you won't have to pay Uncle Sam $9,000. So instead, apply that to your loan within 16 to 18 months. And what they do is during that 16 to 18 months, they give you the payment at the lower amount, so the 121 or whatever it'd be. So that way, during that period, you're saving money because you're not paying on the larger amount of the loan, and you're really just paying it based on the net price. And all you have to do is apply the tax credit. The thing is, a lot of homeowners didn't quite understand that, and in many cases, wow, look at this thing. Yeah, it's just a retaining wall for the road, I'm pretty sure is what they're working on. So, this looks like a 3 to 6 month project, but maybe it's done in like a month or two. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. But it's a nice little shortcut, let me tell you. There's a nice little communities back here and everything. They got another one going on over here. Another retaining wall. It's interesting, they left the tree. They cut up a lot of stuff, but they left that tree. So I wonder if like this was kind of sloping down, or maybe from all the rain. We had quite a bit of rain. I wonder if there's some flooding, and yeah, this was becoming unstable, so they were trying to fix that. Not sure. Got to be a mission to be getting to your house right now. Some of these places. Here's another one. This is when they obviously finished, kind of. Looks like they still have some concrete to put on the top. Super cool. But yeah, so they use this tax credit to their advantage, and you can use that tax credit to your advantage because then your monthly payment's lower, right? You're basically re-amortizing the loan. And this isn't something new, it's just how it was presented and how it's been put together has kind of manipulated and been misused. So a lot of homeowners don't realize they have to apply that tax credit, or they thought they were getting a rebate instead of a tax credit, you know, because the sales guy didn't understand the difference between a tax credit and a rebate. And then the homeowner never gets it. And guess what? Their payment goes up $20, $30, $50. So that impacts their savings on the system. And then if the system wasn't designed right, or it's not operational, there's a lot of variables that play into it. Absolutely. To infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear. Oh, that's the ones doing it. Birch Grading Inc. General engineering contractor. You got a home being built over here. That looks kind of nice. Anyways, so that's definitely been an issue in the industry. Those style loans are going to be gone. Now, I foresee the industry just doing re-amortization loans. It's not like anything they can't do. Basically, what they could be telling homeowners is we could be doing 12, 16, 18, 24-month no payment loans. And then during that period, your utility bill savings, plus not having to make any payments on a loan, will accumulate. So let's say your bill was $200 a month, right? Well, these lenders might let you go a certain period of time after the tax credit's removed, so that way you can accumulate some savings and then make a large lump sum payment to the loan. So $200 over 12 months is $2,400. Doing that over 2 years, if you could get a loan for 2 years of no payments, right, that's $4,800. That is a nice little down payment on a system to help reduce the monthly payment when it starts. So I do foresee something along those lines. Also, I foresee re-amortization loans being standard, where as long as you make a lump sum payment of $1,000 or $2,000 to be rather common moving forward. Leases and PPAs, once they are gone, so you're going to see a lot of those after the tax credit's removed. And while the industry figures out the loans, I'm sure, you know, Axia, Enfin, QCell, they're going to figure something out. I'm sure I'll consult with somebody on it, or you guys watch this video and get some free tips on what to do moving forward, because this is what I do. I think of solutions to the problems of any business, really. I mean, I can consult on almost anything. That's the beauty of being an intelligent person with an imagination. Anyways, but yeah, you deal with any of that stuff. I'm pretty sure this is the road I turn down. Not 100% sure, because one of them you pop out right down in wine country. Oh no, it's up more. Yeah, that one's not it. Yeah, okay. We got a ways to go. This is gonna be a long ass walk. I'm good for it though. I haven't been exercising, I've just been driving a lot, and it's like, I did some crunches and push-ups yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that felt good. Let's plan on taking Sunday off, and I'm sure I'll clock in and do some work still, but I need to get some footage up. All right, my backlog for July is running out. But anyways, we're going to probably see, new loans become available. Credit unions have already had loans like this, so you can still own your system. But the PPAs and the leases that are expiring out, those, if you're going to benefit from them, which many people do use them, I don't have a huge gripe about them. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but it was something I predicted that would likely, those videos aren't up anymore, but some of my original 360 content with Amy, I talked about that solar loans are probably going to go away. We'll see some new styling, and then we'll see the PPA and leases moving forward increase in popularity. And I don't have a big problem with that as long as the companies actually step up and behave like a utility provider. So what ends up happening with a power purchase agreement or a lease is these companies like to promise that they're always going to be there, they're going to service the equipment, they're going to take care of you. And then when the reality happens, or reality hits, I should say, they don't. So if your shit stops working, it's underperforming, whatever it might be, they just adjust your monthly payment rather than just send someone out there to fix it. They get rebottled, they get regrouped, they get resold. So a new leasing company takes over. They don't care to honor the original terms. There's not a lot a homeowner can do to really get anything out of it, right? It's pretty difficult for them to fight some of these organizations when they've resold the lease or the power purchase agreement. And they're basically the same thing. It's just how the finance works. So a PPA is pretty much standard these days. But if you get a PPA with a 0% escalator, it's basically a lease. So, and the big differences on this is a power purchase agreement, the monthly payment is based upon the power you generate, much like the utility company. So what you generate and consume is what you're charged. So if you're going to generate 10,000 kilowatt hours a year, they average that out in some cases. Sometimes they fluctuate it per month. So you might have months where your bill's $120. You have months where your bill's $180. It's always going to, those types of PPAs we don't see as often, but they still do exist. Most of the time it's a levelized PPA, which they're taking the annual production, multiplying it by a rate, 15 cents a kilowatt hour or whatever, and that's what you get. So, yeah. And on a lease, it was the same concept, except you don't care how much power you generate. It's just, here's your monthly payment, right? So this system on lease is this much money, and you don't own it. They're always going to maintain it. They get the solar tax credit. They get any certificates. They get all that good stuff. But we don't really see those. We see levelized PPAs, though I would consider a levelized PPA with 0% escalation basically a lease. They really are. So I'm at this point, you can just call them all leases, I would think, but I think it is just, I don't know if there's some legal technicality to it all. Like a turkey or something over there gobbling. Got some crazy metal plates right here. Eesh. This road is like screwed up, man. Talk about Riverside County. I don't know, this might all, yeah, this is all unincorporated, and whenever you find unincorporated roads that are just screwed up. Here's some finished retaining walls that they did. So they've been doing this on the whole road. Yeah. And it looks like it's sewer drainage at the end of the day. Here you go. It looks good. Yeah. A nice house over here. But anyways, it's just one of those things you got to keep in mind. I honestly have a love-hate with the leases and PPAs only because they don't behave in accordance to the terms of the lease or the PPA. And what I mean by that is they don't honor the servicing of it. They don't replace equipment, they don't repair it. Like I said, a lot of the times they just adjust your monthly payment. I had a I've had several people with that. I've had buddies that have had that, and it's like, well, this is fucking stupid, because if the system doesn't work, your electric bill's noticeably higher, right? So it's kind of a disappointing thing. And then it's like the homeowner needs to send someone out there. They need to figure it out. And then it's like, well, that's going to come out of their pocket to fix a system that they don't even fucking own. And it's just bullshit. You know, that's like telling Edison that one of the transformers underground, right, on this strip, maybe their overhead, I don't know, but isn't working right. And they go, okay, that's not our problem. And then you don't have power, and they just expect you to pay for it. And it's like, well, this is your infrastructure. I buy the power from you. That's how the arrangement is. So they definitely don't behave in the same way. Morning. And it's quite frustrating. So if they actually step up and behave like honest businesses, like mini utility providers, then we're good. There's nothing wrong with having that lease or that PPA. Many people would benefit from them, as it's a levelized payment. They don't have to worry about a tax credit. And usually it can be cheaper than ownership in some areas, not always. I have seen the leases and PPAs be more expensive, but it depends on who you're working with. Axia by QCell owns their own lender, so they have NFIN, so they do their own financing, they do their own leases. When I've looked at them, I thought they're pretty okay, and they have some really unique incentives for the virtual power plants if you do a lease or a PPA with them. I think they only have a power purchase agreement. But again, I'm saying lease because it's a levelized payment. It doesn't fluctuate per month, and you can do it with a 0% escalator, which I would recommend. There's no point in buying it with an escalator, as it increases, and it ends up being a lot over time. So you're better off just like paying a little more per month, because the 0% does cost you more, than having it increase 3.5% year over year, because over 25 years, it's substantial. I hope this is the turn up here. Whew. Negative. We got the walk. We went on a long fucking walk. God damn. Well, I'm probably not going to record the whole time, but that's really all I got on it. I want you to do something. I don't want you to be intimidated. I want you to consult with me. If you got quotes from other companies, reach out. You know, you can just schedule a one-on-one and we'll go over those quotes. I don't even have to give you a quote, but let me at least help you navigate these quotes. And we can go over your site. Like I helped this other client and was able to give them a quote that didn't have something they didn't need, right? Their project was so unique, and it was definitely something that requires a vetted, experienced individual to go, hey, wait a minute, you don't need a panel upgrade. You need a new sub panel. Well, that's included in a backup system. So why are you being charged $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for an electrical upgrade you don't need? You know, his configuration, the meter was separate from the loads. So he didn't have an all-in-one electrical house. So most electrical panels here in California have a meter attached with the utility connection, attached with the loads to the home. His was not like that. His was coming off a power line to a disconnect to his meter, which then fed his loads. It's like, oh, okay. That looks like it works. And usually it goes utility line to the meter to the disconnect. So we'll have to see how that configuration is. He thinks it's going through the disconnect first and then to the meter. But in most cases, when your utility comes in, it comes in, goes through the meter, and then goes to a disconnect breaker or a fuse disconnect. For him, he had a fuse disconnect. Now, I did include some extra costs only because there might be the need to replace that fuse disconnect. But looking at some of the wires, he's got to have like number 3 to number 1 coming off of his overhead line. That's why it's like at worst case scenario, all we have to do is upgrade those lines, maybe replace the disconnect with a slightly higher one, but we're not talking about a $5,000 electrical upgrade. There might be a change order, sure, but I already included $1,000. It's not your traditional electrical upgrade by any means. So, and none of the other guys talked about that. And I'm like, yeah, you got to be really careful with an electrical upgrade with where his stuff is, because, dude, it's super freaking weird. It's like in a fucking cubby. Like, how can I explain it? This tractor will help explain it. So, normally your electrical panel stuff's up here, right? Well, it's like in the house, it's designed in a little cubby. So the meter and the disconnect's like under this little cubby right here. And there's a utility mast that comes down for his power overhead, and then it feeds it. And it's like, okay, that's weird that this is at like shin level. It's not even at knee level, it's at shin level. Like, what the heck? I'm kind of surprised we don't make these as series. And I was reconsidering something. I was talking to a guy that works at Airgas, and he's going to be consulting. Their company's talking to an aviation company that wants to build some flying cars. And they want to talk to them about what type of fuel source would be good. From what they were saying, they were kind of looking at hydrogen. I was like, well, here's my card. I'm a consultant, but I wouldn't lean towards hydrogen. I didn't go too much far into that, but I did think about it. And if you end up watching this video, my thought was propane, or like liquid propane, natural gas with a series engine. And you could do that. And so that way it's an electric vehicle, flying vehicle running off of propane or natural gas. And that would be pretty reliant and significantly safer. And I don't think you would have to deal with atmospheric pressures or differentiations. Mind you, these vehicles likely wouldn't be flying very high altitude stuff. I would think maybe 1,000 feet would be the max you'd likely see. But that's its own stuff on its own thing. Anyways, but I'm gonna cut the camera here and continue the walk. I might pick it back up just to walk down the old, I'm gonna walk wine country down. So hopefully we get to enjoy that together and get you another clip of just the area. Look at this lot. And look at all these vines back here. So this is kind of the backside of Temecula wine country that most people don't get to see when they come out here. And as you can tell, the road's closed, and this road, Riverside County, is bullshit. You guys make a ton of money in taxes for this area, and you aren't putting it back over here. You really should be putting the money back over here. And if you're not going to, this shit should be taken over by Temecula. Like, seriously, the city of Temecula should have all this. Big old water towers. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Really appreciate you. Don't hesitate to reach out for any type of consultation. Specialize in a lot of different things. Have a lot of experience and knowledge in various topics. And if I don't, I'm going to do the research for you. But if you at least need something for clean energy technology, I'm your man. Hit me up. I got my consultation fee on the website. If you do an instant quote, you get a discount. So use that instant quote first in most cases to get the discount, unless you need like a full consultation, where we're just comparing quotes and just schedule the normal one. But thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing the next one.